The year was 1968, and America and rock music were going through a huge metamorphosis. Vietnam, the assassinations of Martin Luther King and RFK, riots in Chicago and D.C. It's been called one of the formative years in American history by both Time and Newsweek. Rock was also going through its own changes, with groups like Cream, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, and the Doors taking rock in new exciting avenues than never before seen or heard. Bands such as Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath were just right around the corner. Psychedelic music had taken over, and the mainstream mediums of film and television were cashing in on it. Hell, even Dragnet had something to say about hippies. Yeah. It seemed the whole world was being swept up by the counterculture, except for one Mr. Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. We're Only in It for the Money was released on March 4th, 1968, and features some great social commentary. Imagine this being released right after the Summer of Love and a year before Woodstock. That's like if a band came out with an album in '92 titled, "This Isn't Punk, Fuck Nirvana," or a rap album cover just consisting of Dr. Dre's The Chronic cover with "Motherfuck Rap" written across it. It'd get a reaction for sure. This was a really ballsy move for Zappa because it was a very safe bet that mom and dad in middle America didn't understand what Zappa stood for or was trying to say. So his main audience were people who listened to rock albums or were even into mind-bending substances such as marijuana or LSD. And these are the exact people that Frank just gave the middle finger. The first thing one notices is the cover. An obvious parody of Sgt. Pepper's from the front to the back to even the inside. They even went so far as to do the insert. There's no mistaking that they mean it. This is pretty literal. Legend is that Frank called Paul McCartney to ask his permission to parody the cover. McCartney referred him to the Beatles' office saying, "That's what business managers are for." Then Zappa snapped back saying, "That's what artists are for, to tell the business managers what to do." Song topics range basically to roasting everybody at the moment. Hippies, middle American stupidity, women's liberation groups, to the way the children were raised contributing to them seeking and embracing the hippie counterculture. A couple of the songs featured lyrics that MGM was particularly unhappy with, and they made Frank change some, while some Frank basically flipped backwards and just put back in the album anyway. One of these songs was Mother People, which featured the line, "Better look around before you say you don't care. Shut your fucking mouth about the length of my hair. How would you survive if you were alive, shitty little person?" And replaced with, "Let me take a minute and tell you my plan. Let me take a minute and tell who I am. If it doesn't show, think you'd better know. I'm another person." This song and very line was actually shown as a teaser for the TV show The Monkees. Let me take a minute to tell you who I am. If it doesn't show, then you better know I'm another person. Now, can we imagine if they actually had aired the uncensored version of this? How cool would that have been for the family to have settled down around the TV set a mere week after We're Only came out? "Mom," says little Billy, "I want to watch the Monkees." "Well, all right, they're so much more clean-cut and well-behaved than those dope-addict Beatles." He even ran ads in April of 1969 in Marvel Comics to advertise it. Upon its release, the record company took liberties of editing the album as they saw fit, chopping out complete lines or words here and there to alter the meaning of what was really said. This was done without Frank's knowledge, and he only found out about it afterwards. A truly unedited version of the album to this day does not exist. The closest one can get is to take the vocal edited version, which has the original instrumentation, and to listen to it with the 1984 CD release version, which has re-recorded instruments but the uncensored vocals. It's a shame that this will forever exist in a neutered state and we won't get to enjoy it as Frank fully intended us to. Regardless, stands as a blueprint of punk and a great example of someone who had the balls to basically tell the world to fuck off simultaneously.